Hi everyone. Okay, guys, no pleasant personal introduction today. Bookworm is rather mad and tired, and well, let's just get on with the video. Okay, now I was not stretched to my limit, but stressed to my limit yesterday, and I did not feel like talking. I needed to just shut up for a while, for a day. But I did post the video with beautiful photographs of the real royals receiving the president of South Korea. But let me talk about Harry and Meghan and their visit to Vancouver and the hockey game. And I'm asking, why were they there? Allegedly, their visit had something to do with Invictus being held in Vancouver and Whistler in 2025. Now, I am up to my eyeballs of beating around the bush. If it was Invictus related, if it was more business than pleasure, then what the F was Meghan and her mate Marcus Anderson doing there? Then, if Harry was there to network and talk ideas and business, it surely is not for Meghan to be standing up and shouting and laughing and being photographed all the time, is it? I watched a few short clips, and God Almighty, I said to a friend of mine that I was relatively sure Meghan was on something during the Variety Gala, and the friend's friend actually agreed with me. Coincidentally, a subscriber who also has an ex who is an expert on drugs, etc., also told me that her ex was of the opinion that M was on some kind of opioid high. Anyway, well, I don't know for sure, do I? But, I'm at the point where I don't really care anymore either. I mean, what is the point? They are getting away with everything. Anyway, Mexi was indeed very animated during the game, to the point where the two gentlemen sitting in front of Harry and Meghan looked rather peeved and irritable. Harry was also on the ice for the ceremonial face-off doing the puck drop, almost exactly 21 years after Queen Elizabeth did the same thing when she visited Canada as part of her Golden Jubilee tour. So, for me, and look, I may be wrong, but I say it as I see it. For me, this was indeed a royal appearance, a royal duty, a matter of following in grandma's footsteps, being treated as a royal, performing a royal duty in a British Commonwealth country. And why am I saying so? Because I have the right to think so and say so, because according to the royal website, the Duke and Duchess are, and I quote, balancing their time between the United Kingdom and North America, continuing to honor their duty to the King, the Commonwealth, and their patronages. What a flat out lie. Complete BS. Harry, as far as we know, had only stopped over in Britain once this year for the Well Child Awards, and Meghan hasn't been since the Queen's funeral. What are they actually doing for the Commonwealth? Their patronages. Which ones? Harry may still pay lip service to Invictus and Well Child, and I have no clue how much he is really doing for Centre Bali, but at least he does take part in those fundraising polo matches. And then there is African Parks. Now, I'm not going to talk about African Parks right now. I think we'll know more about Harry's future role in African parks at the end of February, at the end of the financial year next year. But none of those initiatives or organizations are linked to the monarchy, and his patronage of the initiatives and charities is thus not a royal patronage. But it doesn't matter. He is still involved somewhere, somehow. But what about Meghan? She even dropped her £10 per year animal shelter. What duty are they actually doing in honor of the King and Britain? Now, I was kicked in the teeth a while ago when I talked about the American people and organizations still giving them a platform to operate from. And this person was really angry at me and asked, what are they, as Americans, supposed to do? As long as the king keeps Harry on as prince and duke and fifth in line to the throne and on the website, he remains a foreign dignitary, and decent people have no choice but to treat him like British royalty. And guys, she is 100% right. Take the log out of your own eye first. The king has to do what is right for the country and for the monarchy first before we can demand that Harry be treated like an average Joe. The other thing is, well, not thing, but fact. If this trip to Vancouver was indeed for Invictus business, then Meghan did not have to be there. So why was she? Wasn't she just at that variety gala all by herself on the 16th of November in Los Angeles? Look, make no mistake, if she was just Meghan Markle, 6 on the call sheet of Suits, and absolutely childless, I would not care where she went or with whom or how often. But dear me, she overstays her welcome on the black carpet, posing this way and that, making a proper fool of herself when more popular, bigger names than her walk on with a celebrity pal, stop, have their picture taken, and walk off. Oh, dear God, but not the royal. And yes, I am going to call her the royal because she still bears the titles and is still on the website as a working royal. So no matter what I say, think or feel, no matter what you say, think or feel, officially Harry and Meghan are still royals. Harry still bear all those titles, and therefore so does Meghan. Harry is still fifth in line to the throne, and his children, sixth and seventh. He is still a councillor of state, even if right now, without a British residence, he cannot act as one. His father did not remove him and Andrew, but instead just added Anne and Edward. So nothing has changed, even when they try to gaslight you and tell you otherwise. So, yes, like it or not, and the newspapers can say what they want, but nobody can legally or truthfully argue with me and tell me that Harry was not performing a royal duty. I could indeed say he was, and technically I would not be wrong. The other issue is how, when, or where does Meghan and Harry spend time with those two children? Archie would indeed be old enough to go to a hockey game, I think. It does not matter what we say, how we argue it. Nothing about those two children and how they are being treated is normal or average, or then even okay. And the longer this continues, the more I believe they are not in Harry and Meghan's care, And Harry can now go and tell the media how hurt he is by the public saying this about his children, just like he went running to tell the media that he was hurt about the gossip about the failure of his marriage. Look, Harry, I truly do not care. No parent with children under 5, particularly not one as young as Lily, spend more time away from their children than with them. Remember how Harry and Meghan said they were going to be such hands-on parents? Well, they even went so far as to criticize William and Catherine for having a nanny, remember? Well, one thing we can say for sure about them is that they are definitely not hands-on parents. In normal relationships, daddy goes away for work and mommy stays with the kiddies, or the other way around. And every now and then they leave the kiddies with a grandparent or family and go away together. Or on other occasions, they take the kiddies with them, particularly if it's just leisure and vacation. But not these two. Oh, no, no. These two are constantly on the move. Galas, football and hockey games and other sport games and Invictus and polo, and then one concert after another, island and overseas vacations one after the other, never ending, and not a word or sight of those two children. As a matter of fact, when asked about her children at the Variety Gala, it was almost like Meghan could not, for a minute, remember their names and resorted to calling them the little ones, devaluating those two little souls the same way she does her husband by calling him this one. Yes, indeed, Meghan has demoted Harry to this one, the gum under her shoe, and the children to the little ones, those pesky little pimples on her arse. I think when it comes to the general public, people like you and me, the reason why we are so fed up with everything and anything related to Harry and Meghan is because there's no truth, no justice, no repercussions. There are questions about those two children's birth and origins not being in line with the rules of succession. Yet, who cares? They are in the line of succession anyway. They got titles anyway, with no questions asked or answered. So I'm asking you, what do I do with the call to the cottage hospital? I played it to you, the public, and I'm sure one of the palace spies know about it. Yet, what happened? Nothing. Prince Archie and Princess Lilibet it is. And the royals, including Harry and Meghan, are laughing at us, almost like taunting us with, so what do you think you are going to do about it? Hmm? Now, like Lady C and many others, I shook my head and laughed when the will they, won't they Christmas at Sandringham saga started. I said, oh, typical Meghan. I said, it's just Meghan starting a headline grabbing narrative which she can keep up all the way to the 24th of December. Free publicity, wishful thinking, all of her own making. Yes, I sniggered and I laughed. But why are certain royal experts talking about a possible or secret invitation from the king to the Harkles for Christmas? Why, when asked, are palace insiders just rolling their eyes and looking the other way? Or why even answer with no comment when the answer should be a straightforward no? Now, I don't know, but there is a growing unease in my gut. Look, let's say my dream comes true. Remember, I told you I had a dream about Harry and Archie being at Sandringham over Christmas? That was months ago, I think. So let's just say my dream does come true. Let's say it was more of a vision than a dream, and Harry does attend with Archie. You know, as much as I think of Harry as a traitor, I also still see him as Charles's son. And I've always known that this matter between the royal family and Harry will eventually resolve itself one way or the other. Whether daddy gets him a position in a Commonwealth country or whatever, maybe even put him back on the payroll, or maybe even disown him completely. I don't know. But one way or the other, it has to resolve itself. The royal family, however, owes Meghan Markle nothing. Not a thing, jack shit, regardless of how bad Harry's behavior was before he met Meghan, regardless of how much was actually covered up. Harry was still loyal to the crown and country and wanted to do good in the world like his mother. He actually said as much. But then Meghan came along, and even that changed. Look, I'm not saying Harry is innocent in it all. For instance, did you notice or hear that Harry was so busy posing for the cameras at the hockey game that, and I quote, Hurtle had to tell him to drop the puck because he kept holding it and smiling this way and that way. So he is now as much into posing for the cameras as his wife. And of course, we heard and read Harry's varying recollections, didn't we? But would he have been so traitorous to his family, the crown and country, if it wasn't for Meghan's influence? I don't think so. Then add to that the things Meghan herself said and done. I cannot imagine her taking that walk to the church with the royal family ever again. I can actually feel the bile rise in my throat just thinking about it, just seeing her rictus grin in my imagination makes me sick. Some are saying that if Harry and Meghan attend, William and his family won't. Well, I should hope not. Someone has to draw the line and say enough is enough. Now, look, I know hate is an ugly but very powerful word. But could we blame William if he hated Meghan Markle? If William is a real man, of course he'll protect his wife and children. If William is a real man, of course he'll be loyal and protective of his country. If William has any kind of belief system, he will hate evil. And evil has come between him and his brother. Evil has disturbed the relative or reasonable balance of his family, and evil has upended and destroyed many of the future plans for the monarchy. I personally would respect William even more if he does walk away from Sandringham should the witch attend. I also believe the majority of British people will feel exactly the same, and I think the king will hurt his reign if he chooses the Montecito royal over his other son and daughter-in-law. However, having said all of this, I still refuse to believe that the king invited them at all. I just cannot wrap my head around it. Anyway, guys, so that is it from me. I got all this off my chest and ranted a bit, and now I'm feeling slightly better. Anyway, I have received so much from so many of you, and I'm so far behind on all my email. But I promise you, as soon as I've selected the winner of the competition over the weekend, I will get back to the email. I see there's a whole lot of stuff, information, tips, questions that you guys have sent me. So I will indeed be back as soon as possible. But until then, please take good care of yourselves. Bye.